Today I want to talk to you about sleep training older kids. So this would be primary age kids in the UK, sort of from 4 up to 10, 11, that kind of age bracket. Now, I specialise in supporting families with children this age, and I think that it's really important to start talking about it a little bit more, because when we think about sleep struggles and sleep training, we quite often think about little ones, like under 1 or around the age of 1. For a good reason, because those sort of ages do struggle with their sleep. But it doesn't mean that older children don't continue to struggle, and lots of parents think that they've left it too late if their little one is struggling, and that there's nothing that they can really do about it, and that their child just doesn't sleep very well. And I'm here to try to reassure you that if that sounds like you, then that is not the case, and there are things that we can do and that we potentially should do as well. Because sleep is ultimately crucial for learning, memory, mood and emotional regulation. So if your little one is struggling with those aspects, which all children do, but if they are struggling with it, maybe more so than their peers, then let's look at their sleep. It also has a massive impact on school performance, behaviour and overall well-being. So it's not something that we want to just ignore and hope that it gets better one day on its own. Because older children do still need a lot more sleep than they sometimes want to admit. And generally speaking, primary age children need normally at least 10 up to 12 hours of sleep still. And they may be coming home saying, so-and-so is allowed to go to bed much later, and that's absolutely fine. It doesn't mean that that is right for your child though. Some children will be okay with a little bit less sleep, but it is rare, very rare, that primary age children need less than 10 hours of sleep. So, what common sleep challenges do I see as a sleep coach with older children? More often than not, there'll be bedtime battles. One more story, I need a wee, I'm hungry, I don't want to get my pyjamas on, I need to do this, this thing happened at school today, I've got to tell you about it. Really classic. Anxiety is another one that comes out, so all those worries, everything that's been on their mind during the day will spill out at bedtime, even if you've given them opportunities to do it during the day. Quite often it will only be at bedtime that they decide that they need to tell you all the issues with their friendships, anything that's on their mind. Now, we don't want to ignore these anxieties, but there are things that we can do to redirect them and deal with them at different times of the day while still allowing your child to feel heard. Bed hopping is another one that we see a lot. They may well start off the night in their own room, but by 2 o'clock in the morning they may be in with you. And co-sleeping is not a problem unless it's a problem. If you have decided that you want to co-sleep and everyone in the house is happy with that and everyone is getting the sleep that they need, then fine. However, if you are finding that your child is bed hopping and you are only letting them sleep in their room because you are too tired, or it's too much hard work to get them back into their own room in the middle of the night and you need sleep too, then it's a good sign that it's time to take some action and try to draw a line under that. And the other thing that we see is children just perfectly going along with bedtime, willing to go to bed, but then really struggling to go to sleep and to wind down. This can sometimes be impacted by screen time, because it really does keep that brain active for a long time after they come off of it. So, if any of those issues sounds like something that you are struggling with, then you are in the right place. Now, I want to explain how sleep training differs for older children versus little ones that we would sort of expect. So, older children, first of all, you will know that they have their own minds, they have more independence, and they are capable of making their own choices as well, which is obviously brilliant. So when we think about making any changes, we need to make sure that we are approaching this in a collaborative way. So instead of telling your child, you're not good at sleep, you need to fix this, or you've got to do this and I'm taking charge, we need to try to involve the child in a plan so that they can take ownership of it, be more likely to commit to it, and not feel like they've done anything wrong, and that you are part of a team working towards healthy sleep for your whole family. They need to be able to participate in their routines and strategies and understand. And I think the best way to do that is to involve them in the planning stage, and any changes that you are making, they need to be heard. They need to understand why we're making these changes and ask their questions. The next thing that we really need to think about is the techniques. So when we think about, sleep training a baby, we might be thinking about moving away from night feeds. With a school-age child, that's not likely to be the issues that you're facing. Are going to be very different issues, and therefore the methods that we need to use are likely to be very different as well. That does not mean that you are still going to leave your child to cry themselves to sleep or lock the door or anything harsh like that. It's about finding the right approach, but we can sort of see very quick changes with an older child, because again, we can explain to them what we're doing, what we're expecting, and hopefully they can get on board with that. I think it's really important as well to really put a positive spin on any changes to sleep when we get to those older children. We need to focus on mindset, positive reinforcement, and addressing any underlying worries or issues at an appropriate time during the day. So the benefits of supporting sleep in older children: you will see improved behaviour and resilience, better focus and performance at school, healthier family dynamics and less mood swings and outbursts, and long-term skills for managing stress and sleep as they grow as well, which I think are all just massively important, and I'm sure you do too. So when we think about effective strategies for better sleep, we need to think about things like having consistent bedtimes and a pre-sleep routine. This is still important as your child grows older, so don't underestimate the power of a good bedtime routine, and keep it regular. You need to set clear but loving boundaries. Getting kids involved in that process and letting them sort of co-create that with you will definitely help. We need to be addressing anxieties with gentle conversations, reassurance and calming techniques during the day. Find time during the day, morning, after school, pre-bedtime routine where you are giving them time to talk and use their voices. We also really do need to limit screens. I would say at least a minimum of an hour before you expect them to go to bed, we need screens off. That blue light is massively impactful when it comes to a little one's brain switching off, and your child may be able to go to sleep quickly after having a screen, but the quality of their sleep and that first bit of their sleep is not going to be what we want, and they're more likely to not be getting the restorative sleep that they need. And alongside all of these things, we need to use positive reinforcement and reward progress where progress is being made, but make that achievable. Don't set them huge targets that are completely miles away from their starting point, because if they're not achieving anything or feeling like they're not achieving anything, then they're going to lose interest and commitment very quickly. Why professional support makes a difference. So why would you reach out for help? So first of all, you'd get personalised guidance to address the unique challenges your family and your family dynamics. When I'm working with you, it will be evidence-based strategies tailored to your child's age and needs, and ongoing support, so no guesswork or feeling stuck. Also, it massively helps to have a third party coming in and talking to your child about their sleep, because if you are struggling with, let's say, an 8-year-old sleep, there's probably nothing that you haven't tried already. But if it hasn't worked, sometimes the kids just need to hear it from somebody else, and it makes them believe in it and trust in it, and it can really help to unite you as a family unit and take the tension out of it, because it won't be being done to them by the parents. Okay, if any of this has resonated with you and your bedtimes have become a battle, you're dealing with night wakings, you're dealing with mood swings, or you are just done and can't think of where else you need to turn, then please get in touch today. You can book a free sleep assessment with me where we can just get to know each other. I can get to understand your situation, and we can come up with a support plan that is bespoke to you and your family needs to get you the sleep that you and your child need once and for all.